listening to the Nerdy Reads podcast, a hipster goblin media production.
Welcome to the Nerdy Reads podcast. We read nerdy stuff such as sci-fi, fantasy books, comics, manga, and horror. We also discuss all other nerd things from around the globe. We are learning many of the qualities of a knight in this tale. A knight must be able to use his weapons efficiently, be knowledgeable in many fields, be the bravest on the field of battle, but above all, they must prove that they are chivalrous, honest, and true. They must be knightly in every aspect. And today we continue our journey through The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. We will also take a trip to the New Stuff Cafe where we continue to pretend that it is already fall with a pumpkin beverage from Smoothie King. And there will be some book happenings, nerdy news, and a lot of fun along the way. I'm one of your hosts, Sir Longbeard, for as long as we're doing this book. And with me is another misfit of the round table, Sir Daddy of Bojangles. Well met, good sir.
Well met, Justin. As always, I'm excited to be here for another episode of the Nerdy Reads podcast. If my voice is off, I'm still recovering from seeing one of my all-time favorite bands over the weekend Thursday. But check it out, dude. Wendy's just recently announced they made a necklace you can wear. It holds 6 of their sauced up chicken nuggets on a wheel, so you can play video games and eat the nugget as you're gaming without getting your hands dirty. And you know who has one pre-ordered? It's Dylan.
Wow. You know, I'm surprised that you segued with that. I thought for sure there was going to be a Taken Back Sunday comment because you mentioned Thursday.
I should have. That would have been better. But the Wendy saucy nugget necklace must be shared with the world.
Look at that thing.
I know.
Do you actually have this pre-order, bro?
No, Dylan does.
Oh, Dylan does.
The guy eating the nugget.
I mean, Dylan did have he had the Stanley. Remember the cup that he had that had it had a glizzy.
Oh, he did.
And the bet.
That contraption was amazing. Greatest human invention of all time.
I derailed the intro.
Hey, that's all right, bro. This intro needed to be derailed.
We derail out here because we have super, very, ultra, mega special guests with us today. Okay, because he needs no introduction. That's why we derailed. We don't even need to introduce this guy because you already know him. You all love him. It's Keaton.
I'm such a special guest that you can't get rid of me.
He just started showing up, and all of a sudden he's just here.
And with the sauce necklace, I'm concerned that the sauce is going to drip onto you.
Hey,
If we put too much sauce on it.
Somebody needs to get it. Somebody needs to get it on the show
and do a review.
And also,
are.
No matter how knightly you are, you can always be taken out by a lightning bolt from the sky.
That's true.
This is true. Robert, you got a question for us today? Really?
I actually do have a question for you today, my friend. We have ushered in fall early at the Nerdy Reads podcast. We had Witch's Brew last week. This week, we're going to have a pumpkin smoothie. So I want to know, man, what's your all's favorite fall seasonal treat?
Keaton, go ahead, bro. I feel like you have an answer. You look ready for this.
No, I don't have an answer. I was the opposite of ready. I don't have an answer.
About as ready as I was to ask the question.
Right off the top of my head, fall treat. If I had to pick anything, it would be whatever Dylan wants to say.
Oh my gosh.
Dylan,
I don't know if anybody has a fall fave.
I'm not much of a fall guy, but I am a spooky season guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So with spooky season, I am a big fan of recently became a big fan of the Alani Nu Witch's Brew that we finally tried on the show just 1 or 2 episodes ago. So I'd say that.
I've had 2 of those since last week. Yeah, they're fine.
All right. If I had to make a choice, I just had to look up some stuff and I had to be reminded of what fall food was.
Excuses.
Yeah. I'm going to go with it's soup season, bro. I feel like in fall you could start eating soup. Chili's cool. All that stuff starts to become acceptable.
Chili?
Yeah, bro.
Here's
come
the
on.
real question. Here's the real question.
Yeah.
Noodles or no noodles?
Oh, no noodles, bro. If there's noodles in it, it's just spaghetti. It's fancy spaghetti. It's spaghetti without the marinara. That's all it is.
There's the Texan in him talking. Maybe they just need meat, sauce, and beans down there. That's it.
I like crackers, bro. I like to dip the cracker, do all the things.
So you hate Skyline then?
I mean, I don't eat Skyline, but I don't know.
I don't have a treat, but I do like that I can wear a hoodie outside again.
Ooh, hoodie weather's the best.
Yeah.
That's a treat, dude. You know what, bro? For me, it's gonna be anything pumpkin ice cream, especially. Love some pumpkin beer. I'm that guy. Yeah, let's get all the pumpkin spice things. Bring them to me. All your suggestions, whatever it is, I'll try it. Throw it my way.
I feel like this was why he asked this question, is because he wanted to share his love of pumpkin on the show, as if we're not having a pumpkin treat today. You know what I mean?
Excited, dude. I'm pumped for it too.
On a side note, I saw a video with a 1,500-pound pumpkin.
Oh, I saw that, dude. I was watching the growing process of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's time for Comic Corner. Hey, this week's Comic Corner is brought to you by none other than the Optic Blast broadcast. If you didn't know, we're all part of the same team at Hipster Goblin Media. So I got some questions for you. Do you love Star Wars? Are you the type of person that watches every new episode of whatever show they're making at the time? Are you sad that the Acolyte is not getting a season 2? Well, I have news that will hopefully ease that burden for all you Dylans out there. Marvel is dropping an Acolyte one-shot for those of you who just can't get enough of the Acolyte. Kevin Scott and Marika Cresta bring the action as Wookiee Jedi Kalanaka steps into the pages of his own issue, delve deep into the history of Kalanaka and the world of the High Republic in this bombastic one-shot. It includes an all-inclusive interview with Kalanaka actor Juna Suotama. I butchered that. Okay, I butchered it. The Acolyte Kalanaka Volume 1 is 32 pages and will run you around $4.99. Dylan, are you buying it?
Absolutely not.
Oh, dude. Any expansion of the wonderful Acolyte universe is welcome here on the Nerdy Reads podcast.
Everybody knows how extremely lore accurate the Acolyte is. So this is a must buy for anybody.
Day one.
For anybody.
Hey, bro, that Acolyte petition has 60,000 people that signed it to try to get season 2 greenlit. But that's probably about all the people that watched it. So,
are you one of those 60,000?
Unfortunately.
You signed for it to go for season 2?
No, I'm not signed for it. Just watched it.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were one of the 60,000 that signed a petition to get, season 2 greenlit.
All I'm saying is biggest IP in the world. Biggest IP in the world. You only got 60,000 people to sign your petition.
Biggest IP in the world to stretch there.
I was going to say, bro, I don't know if I would say, I mean,
bigger than Marvel?
It's
in today?
Yeah.
In today's day?
Yeah. It ain't
bigger than Mario?
Yeah.
It ain't bigger than Mario.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
it's the biggest IP in Dylan's heart. That's all that matters.
You know what? If Dylan says it, that's nerdy news right there, and it's fact. Okay, we only spit facts here on the Nerdy Reads podcast. All right, guys, give us just a few minutes. We'll probably talk about Acolyte at some other point in this episode, but for now, we're going to go to the fridge. Or freezer. I don't know. It's wherever we stored our Smoothie King smoothies, and we'll be right back in just a moment. All right, everybody, welcome back to the New Stuff Cafe. By the way, I didn't even mention this in the intro, but it's good to be back with you guys.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back, dude. Proud new father. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. And hey,
you missed.
Hey, and you guys had a killer episode. Appreciate you guys doing that. Robert, as always, amazing at hosting.
Aww.
So appreciate you guys. So let's go ahead and get into New Stuff Cafe. Okay. We got a lot of things that we're going to talk about. We got a fun discussion thing that we're going to do. But before we do, we have a very special item near and dear to Daddy Bojangles' heart. Robert, go ahead and, share with us what we're having.
All right, guys, as the air turns crisp and the leaves transform into those vibrant hues we all love, there's one flavor that captivates our hearts. That's pumpkin, baby. Pumpkins become synonymous with fall. There's a wave of pumpkin-flavored treats and beverages across the globe. But today we have pumpkin smoothies from Smoothie King.
Yeah. And mine's vegan.
Mine's vegan as well.
Mine's also vegan.
Oh, we're all plant-based for Justin, baby.
Here we go. I'm ready. I'm ready to try this.
I saw your reaction to the smell. It's got a strong smell.
Yeah. What were we going to say, Robert?
The pumpkin smoothie from Smoothie King is a little on the healthier side. The vegan one only has 360 calories, 13 grams of protein, and very little fat. I mean, it's not the worst way to have like a little delight at the end of the day, dude.
Bro, this is good.
Oh, yeah, Skull.
Sorry, dude. I was so excited to have this. I forgot. Sorry, man. Guys, I took a week off, okay? I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
All right, look, man. I had the pumpkin smoothie from Tropical Smoothie Cafe last year. I'm here to tell everyone I was nervous walking in the Smoothie King because Tropical Smoothie Cafe's pumpkin smoothie was trash. Throw it away, hot garbage. You heard it here first. This one, fire. Smoothie King knows what they're doing. I'm going back. I'm going to try their whole pumpkin line.
That's outrageous. This here is 4 out of 10.
4?
Keaton goes, that's outrageous.
4 out of 10.
Maybe I should have.
Every sip, it grows on you a little bit, but it doesn't get that much better.
Dude, this thing is made with oat milk. There's bananas, dates, the pumpkin spice blend. There's some type of vegan plant-based protein in here, probably Orgain. I like that stuff.
I think it would be great if they took the pumpkin out. All that stuff sounds great.
Wow.
Are you not a pumpkin guy, though?
I'm not a pumpkin guy. There's a video. There's a video of me when I was a child carving a pumpkin, and I threw up, pulling out the guts.
Hold up, dude. Hold up.
Where's that video at?
You have it right now.
I'm sure I can find it. My family, I don't have it right now, but I'm sure I can find it. My family contemplated and putting it on America's Funniest Home Videos.
They should have. This is going on our socials.
Do we need this video? Keaton throwing up.
I'll try to find it.
Don't listen to Keaton pumpkin fans. This is delicious.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm enjoying this. I think this is good, personally.
They have like 5 different pumpkin smoothies. They have a power meal one. I don't know what that entails. I think it's just like their more high protein one. Then they have a coffee one. They have a pumpkin coffee high protein that I'm definitely going to try next. I was going to try it tonight, but we do this like pretty late. But the high protein one has 31 grams of protein in it, only 12 grams of fat. I'm okay with that macro. I'm trying all these.
Smoothie King has become one of my go-tos. I really like it for lunch. They have a couple of different, quite a few vegan options there. I love their dark chocolate banana one. I think it's it's really, really good. But man, this right here, I
thank
this.
You.
Smoothie King is good if you're made of money.
Guys, we're not sponsored by Smoothie King, but I would love to be. And if you download the app, you can get a free pumpkin smoothie.
It's over today, though.
Never mind. Ignore that.
No free smoothies for you. All right. So, guys, in honor of the micro episode that we talked about dropping soon with the code name currently as Books for Fall or Spooky Season, and be on the lookout for that. I thought it would be fun since we have our bros here who are fellow gamers. I thought it'd be fun to give our Nerdy Reads fall video picks. And so here we go. I asked each one of these dudes to give me a couple, and there were a couple I think that I grabbed from Reddit, and there's one that I think is a good overall pick by the team. And so without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and get ready to start. So I won't be able to see you guys. Can you guys see that? Is that full view?
Full view, yeah. We can see.
Oh, yeah. Top 10 games to prepare you for fall. Brought to you by the Nerdy Reads team. Okay, so I'll kind of go through these, and we'll have a chance to talk about it. The first one here is from the Reddit pick, Elden Ring.
Oh, I could see it.
I thought about this when you asked me earlier. I thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
I get more like late winter vibes from this game because it did come out in February. But I guess I could see it.
I think a lot of this is due to terrain. from a lot of descriptions by Reddit users was, and this was like one of the top like 2 or 3. A lot of us picked the games that were number 1 and 2, and so this was like number 3 on that list. But
Nice.
Elden Ring was the number 3, and again, a lot of it's terrain, all that kind of stuff. Okay,
I can see it too. It's a game where you can just sit and put a lot of time into it, and that's what I think is a good fall game.
And I know Robert Platinum this one.
I did.
Either one of you guys?
I never finished this game.
Unfortunately, I never finished it either. To be honest, I didn't even make it past Margaret or Mayor. What's his name? I didn't even make it past him until like 6 months ago.
It's all right, dude. This game's hard, especially if you haven't played games like it before. For some reason, I hate having fun. So
it's true. It's so true. All right, we got our next one. This is Justin's selection. I had to go with Skyrim. Nice. Skyrim, I feel like, has so much fall terrain, and it just feels like a fall game.
Cozy.
That's a great pick.
And I will back this until, forever. I still feel like Skyrim is probably one of my top 3 favorite games of all time. Definitely my number 1 single player game of all time. Next selection was Robert's selection of Bully.
This was a great pick.
Yeah, dude.
This was a great pick.
This one right here just instantly makes me think of fall, because back when we were kids, way before Dylan and Keaton, were thought of, we actually went back to school in September. I mean, it was after Labor Day most of the time when we went back to school. So this game also, it kind of goes through the seasons. This game, for whatever reason, when I play it, it puts me in that fall mood. In fact, I kind of want to revisit this now. Fantastic game.
It's a great game.
Have they remade this?
They did it on like a PS4 version, but I don't think it was like a real remaster. They just kind of like enhanced it.
I wish they would do a remaster of this game and give it a little bit of the upgrade boost as far as graphics go.
Yeah, it's a GTA treatment.
Yeah, because I think that this game, it would be one of those that I remember it fondly. But if I went back and played it, I don't know how much I would love it as much. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I get that.
But it's still fond memories of this one. All right, here we go. Next pick. We had a Dylan selection of Life is Strange.
Love it.
Such a good game. 10 out of 10 game. If you have not played this game, it'll change your life.
That was a good game.
This is a good selection, too, from all the screenshots that I've seen. Now, I haven't actually played this game. I guess I need to go get my life changed, but this looks like very
interactive kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool.
I like that kind of stuff.
You would like this game, dude. It's very good. It tells a really, really good storyline. I think when I played this, it came out in like episodes. Like episode 1 came out, and then you waited like 3 months, and episode 2 came out, and kind of like a TV show. It was a dope experience.
Yeah. And by the way, for our audio listeners, we're going to try to describe as much as possible. But if you're a video watcher, we're trying to get a little more visual on the show. All right, we have next up a Keaton selection of Pokemon Heart Gold.
Yeah, it's a great pick. Just look at it. Fall vibes. It looks Heart Gold. That's all about fall. And I got so many memories of whipping out the DS in my bed before on a school night and playing this game until the wee hours in the morning.
Nice. Robert,
whipping out the DS.
The thing is like I cannot see anybody right now because I'm sitting here moving through the thing. But when you said that, I just hear Robert as a child in the background. All right, here we go. We had a Robert selection of Spider-Man.
Bro, there's literally one of the best fall scenes in a video game. You go to a Halloween party, man, and it's so good. The whole thing that plays out there, all of it. Spider-Man on PS4, now PS5. Great game series. Play it, enjoy it, love it. Fantastic.
Does he wear the Spider-Man costume to the party?
He does.
He does. He is a better Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire. PS4 Spider-Man.
That's just false, but okay.
Dang. It's always an attack. All right, next we had just a selection of Animal Crossing New Horizons. Come on.
Man, great shout.
This game could be for any season.
It can, but it's especially awesome in fall, dude. I love it.
Yeah, I've never played an Animal Crossing game.
What?
Never played an Animal Crossing
game.
neither one of you have had your life changed then.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. This got me through 2020. That's all I'm saying.
If I want to build an island, I'll just go play Minecraft.
No. All right, dude. We're done here, bro. The disrespect.
I know.
The disrespect towards Animal Crossing in this conversation has been too much for me. All right, here we go. Next, we have Keaton's selection of Animal Crossing adjacent Stardew Valley.
It is Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing walk so Stardew Valley could run. Here it is.
It's so true. But this is just another reminder that I feel like I need to play this game.
I need to play this too, man.
It's good. I've only played a little bit, but it's a great game. It's like I said, it's another one of those games that you can just sit there and sink time into. And I think that's what makes a great fall game, is something you can get lost in.
Yeah. So. Dylan, have you played this one?
No.
Oh, Dylan's too cool for the cozy games.
Yeah, I play real games like that.
like does they play Call of Duty?
And the Dylan selection of Last of Us.
Real games, like I said.
That the fall chapter of The Last of Us is a brilliant segment of video game. Yeah.
Yeah. This one was also this one was actually number 1 on the Reddit list. So
really,
Dylan knocked it right out of the park on that one. So there you go. And I think there's one more, and I made this the Nerdy Reads fall selection to get you ready for spooky season, the Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah, man. Survival horror is easily a spooky season fall type deal. I love Resident Evil. That Resident Evil 4 remake on PS5 that came out is so good.
Resident Evil 4 is my favorite one.
Yeah.
As it is with lots of people, I guess.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4, I'll concede, is easily the best one. I have a soft spot in my heart for Resident Evil 2, but I'm not going to die on that hill. Resident Evil 4 is a better game.
All right. So, guys, like we said earlier, be on the lookout because we will do something very similar to that, but with more book related kind of deal. And we're going to come out with a micro episode for books for the fall and spooky season here in the near future. So without further ado, give us just a moment. We will be right back. We're going to go into the Bright Sword. And this is part 4. So we've been going at this for a little bit. So give us just a moment. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, we are back for another exciting adventure through Britain. We continue our book club of The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. If you want an author bio, or if you are reading along with us, we are right now currently on 21 through 28. If you're not there, go to some previous episodes to listen to our thoughts on the chapters that maybe you are on. If you're caught up and you're on 21 through 28, congrats, we have made it. We are past the halfway mark, and there are only a few remaining episodes of The Bright Sword. So we're getting ready to get started. Robert, where did we leave off?
Man, so we had a big over-the-top battle. Colum got thrown down a well. He came out at night on the other side. We had Keaton and I's favorite flashback chapter so far, where we learned about Dinadan, which was really, really cool. But at the very end, the knights got their miracle sign from God. They needed to go find the Holy Lance. However, tragedy struck. Sir Kay killed himself, leaving us wondering why.
You know, I had a question, and Robert, you asked this question, and I wanted to ask this again because I thought it was a good talking point for us as we were getting ready to prepare to talk about today's book. But you said, do you feel like the flashback hurt the pacing of the story or enhance your overall enjoyment of the present timeline? And so I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts verbally. I know we kind of texted some things in the Discord and we've had a couple people respond to that, but what are your guys' thoughts on that? Keaton, why don't we start with you, if you don't mind sharing? Does it enhance the story for you? Does it take away from it? Do you wish it was paced differently? Thoughts?
I think it's done really well. There are some points where it'll switch back and forth each chapter, which is okay. I think the better way to do it is what they did this time, where they had 3 flashback chapters back to back, and then moved on to more recent stuff. I think that's probably the better way to do it. But overall, I really enjoy hearing the backstory of the main group of characters that the story revolves around.
Yeah. Robert?
Yeah, I'll echo that. Like, I've really enjoyed all the backstories. There are times where the present timeline, for instance, Sergei killing himself, and I'm like, man, why'd he do this? And I'm like eager to get into the next chapter. But before I got to the present timeline, I was introduced, like Keaton said, 3 flashbacks right off the rip. These aren't short chapters in this book, man. Mm-mm. Like, I maybe read 50 pages before we hop back to the present timeline. So sometimes I think it can kill the pacing. However, when I'm like bummed out, I start reading these flashback chapters and the author is so good and the characters are so engaging. It doesn't take long for me to be like, I don't even care about the present timeline. I'm here now for this story.
Yeah. And I mentioned this a little bit. I think that a lot of times the throwback chapters or flashback chapters, it makes the current stuff come alive a little bit more, because we're learning about that history. But it's like you guys said, and maybe my thoughts are similar to yours because of the 3 in a row. Sometimes it feels a little excessive and I lose track a little bit sometimes on what's currently going on because we're so engulfed in all this past activity. But I do think it helps bring, especially for some, like, I'm going to be a completely open and honest, like King Arthur and all that lore of King Arthur. I have not engaged with a ton. I've seen The Sword and the Stone by Disney, and I've watched a couple History Channel type of things on King Arthur and some of the stuff that, is it or was it not real, certain things. But as far as like knowing like in-depth things about it, I don't know a ton. And so I find the flashback chapters to kind of help me understand who these characters are, even understand the round table and what it was or what the whole story behind it is. And I do enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I only knew like the basic story of King Arthur. Like you said, pulled a sword out of the stone, became the king, had the Knights of the Round Table. That's the basic of the basic knowledge. That's what I knew about the story of King Arthur, plus, maybe a few other things. Yeah. But the backstories really help to flesh out the world that it takes place in, which I enjoy. I'm really big on the world building. So,
and my only experience of the Holy Grail was what BJ's name tag has been in the past is the Knights of
of course, man. Well, there was a movie that released when I was in high school called King Arthur. That was kind of like my first, outside of like the Disney movie and stuff, the like first real introduction to this like story. And I really liked that movie. Now I don't know if that movie holds up today. I remember at the time I liked it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, my only other interaction would be like, Monty Python, like you, or I used to play this awesome board game called Shadows over Camelot.
Oh man, that's an amazing game.
And it is an incredible board game. And you each get like a Knight of the Round Table, the important ones, not these like ragtag ones in the book. And someone's a traitor, and it's really, really cool. And it made me want to kind of learn more about these heroes because I was playing this game. But outside of those heroes in that game, like, dude, I just don't know much about it. So I've really enjoyed reading this book and learning about some more. I think this is his take on the legend a little bit, but I love it, dude. It's really good.
Yeah, I think it's his take, and I think it gives us it's still, I think, the character of the character's integrity and all the different things, the lore and what makes them who they are, I think seems to be consistent with all the things that we've learned from just movies and stories and different things. So yeah, like you guys are saying, I think we're learning, at least getting a better understanding of who these people were supposed to be. So really cool.
Yeah, dude. And we did open this week with 3 flashback chapters in a row, but it was like the tale of the Holy Grail. Yeah. So it was like their quest and how everything just starts falling apart. And it was mostly told from Dagonet's perspective. I think I said that right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But yeah, dude, it was just really all 3 of those chapters, everything going on with him and Constantine, and then just kind of even being like, hey, dude, we don't even belong on this quest. But somehow they find themselves like right in the thicket of it with like the main players going after it. It was really cool.
Yeah. I really enjoyed in these 3 chapters, Sir Galahad.
Yeah.
It's funny because his first introduction is he walks in and he sits down in this chair that's covered up. And the last guy who sat in the chair burst into flames and died in the chair. And so everybody believes that the chair is cursed. He sits down in it, and in gold letters, just magically his name's on the back of the chair. Like, that's a boss moment right there. You walk in, uncover this chair, and sit down. And he's young too. He's a kid.
Yeah, dude. He did like some super jump into the river to pull a sword out of a stone that no one else could get to. Like, Galahad was just letting him know, I'm here.
Yeah, it was a good insight into the characters that are important.
He walked in and said, "This is my house now."
Wasn't Galahad described as like one of the smaller of the knights as well? Was that him? Yeah.
It was him. I think a lot of the big information happened in the chapter of the flashback when they get on that boat with Galahad and Percival, and they see those angels.
Oh man, that was really cool. Yeah. Well, because they figured they were near the Grail at that point, and they were with the people for the Grail, and the angels showed up and had that conversation with like Dagonet and Constantine, and the angel was like, Galahad, he's the greatest of all knights, but he's dead now. And Dagonet like loses it because the knights like the Grail is gone. Well, what these 3 chapters did, and what he's done a really good job with all the flashbacks is like he highlights someone of a different walk of life and shows how the Knights of the Round Table kind of accepts everyone. And in Dagonet's perspective, he was like depressed. All right, he had this depression, and the only time he truly felt happy was when the Holy Grail was there, and he described as like the first time he felt hope. So him hearing that the Grail's gone and Galahad's dead, like the only thing that ever made him happy in his entire life is now gone. And he begs the angel. He's like, I want that happiness. I want the peace. And the angel tells Dagonet, hey, man, you see the world for how it is. It's a veil of tears. It's empty of meaning. But you need to honor God in this world, and then you'll claim your reward in the next. And Dagonet's just like questioning his faith and everything at that point. And I think that, to me, is the most important part of that entire 3-chapter run. It was so good.
Yeah, it was a good end. I really enjoyed how... gosh dang, how afterwards he's talking to Constantine, and he pulls the knife out of his pocket that he stole from the angel.
Yeah,
digs in his character as being like kind of like the trickster fool, and he just robbed that angel of his golden knife. And I really hope we see that eventually in a part of the current timeline.
Yeah, I think it's gonna come back. They have to bring that.
The golden knife. It's the golden dagger. Yeah. I feel like it has to come back. I agree.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, for sure. It was those 3. I'm glad Dagonet grew on me because we got 3 chapters of it.
Yeah, because before this, he was always like, you didn't even see him. So he would stay back at the castle, or he would stay 20 feet away from everybody else,
Yeah.
So did they ever after they did all that stuff, we went back to the present timeline, and like the Knights just kind of set out on their quest, right? Like, did I miss it? Did they ever specifically come out and say why Sir Kay offed himself?
They didn't say that, no.
I didn't see. Because I was kind of wondering the same thing. Because I was like, I missed something. like I got through that whole chapter, and I'm like, I missed something. I need to either re-listen, or I hope you guys bring something up. But now that you say that, I'm like, okay, I didn't miss it.
They passed over completely.
Which is wild. It was just like, hey, the Knight's quest started at what should have been a joyous occasion, had a shadow hanging over, and I'm like, okay.
The one night that they went to the other world for it was basically a worthless amount of time going to get him back.
Yep. That one hurt, but we got to meet Lancelot, so that was cool. Like,
we did, yeah.
They fought those Rainbow Knights, and Lancelot was like the Indigo Knight, and he just kind of mopped up everybody, let them know he's still him.
One thing I remembered from the flashback chapters is if it talks about who Colum killed in the first chapter.
Oh, dude, good. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up.
Go ahead, dude. Do it.
Yeah.
The night that he was going to the round table to meet Sir Blueberries, I forget his.
That we're gonna call.
That's what they call him.
Blueberries.
That's what they call him, Sir Blueberries, the one with the 3 golden chevrons and whatever else he had on his arms. He was the one that Colum killed. Supposedly, that's what it said. The arms, matched up. So, Sir Blueberries, the one that he was going to find, he killed.
It wasn't Lancelot. That's all we.
It wasn't Lancelot.
It wasn't Lancelot. Wow, I was so wrong.
It wasn't Arthur.
It wasn't someone cool. It was just Sir Blueberries.
Sir Blueberries.
Well, since we did get to meet Sir Lancelot, he returns. Let me ask y'all this. So we're all wrong. I don't know if all of us predicted that was Lancelot, or if all of us predicted Lancelot was dead. But are you surprised that we were wrong? Or as this story has progressed, did you have a feeling that he was going to make a return?
Yeah, I thought he was going to return for sure. If he wasn't, it was either he was dead or he's going to return. I don't think if he was still, he would not be a part of the story. They could have just passed. He could have just passed over him, but they didn't.
Keaton, you know what I love, dude, is you literally have been Captain Obvious the last 2 times. You're like, listen, either he's dead or he returns and he's alive. One of the two.
They could have he could have lived, and because he stayed at a monastery, he could have just been at that monastery and not been a part of the quest at all. But they brought him back for the quest.
Yeah.
So it was surprising. I didn't expect him to be one of the knights. I expected them to meet him in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cool how they met him. I love the way they ran into him, dude, and how he just beat it. I thought for sure when Colin started fighting, I was like, here we go with this plot armor, dude. Colin's going to somehow beat the Indigo Knight, but the Indigo Knight clapped him up. Said, no, sir, we're done here real quick. At Bedivere, he wouldn't even vibe under the roof with Lancelot because he hates Lancelot. Lancelot allegedly slept with Guinevere. And what I was surprised at how everything showed up. To answer the question, I thought he was dead the whole time. I figured they were going to find his grave or something. But so him being alive, I was surprised. I was even more surprised he wasn't going to help them. But it kind of makes sense because this isn't really the tale of Sir Lancelot. It's the tale of the backwater knights. But yeah, dude, it was cool. I do like how he tried to appeal to Bedivere, and he's like, yo, I was set up by Mordred, man. I didn't sleep with the queen, but real talk, the opportunity presented itself, I would have, but it didn't.
He's real for that, for sure.
Well, do you think that that's true? Just out of curiosity, y'all's thoughts. I mean, Arthur's dead. It's kind of a my word versus everyone else's. Do you think that Lancelot's telling the truth in that?
I think it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's true.
I didn't think it was true when I was reading it, but when we got to a flashback chapter later with Guinevere and Arthur, now I believe him.
Yeah. Do you guys think Lancelot will ever go? You think he's going to?
No, I don't think.
I don't think we're going to see him anymore in the novel. I think he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see him at the very end, maybe depending on what happens. But
you'll see him making some triumphant return at the end to and
be a knight again.
Sacrifice himself to save one of Cullen or something like that.
Yeah. He might do that. He might do that, but he also might not do that.
Colin was spending some time in the Abbey trying to riz up Namu again, dude.
Oh, dude,
he was.
Dude.
I'll be honest. I like his character. Colin's the main character. I just
Colin,
I think he's a cool character. He's a fun character. He's just a kid who's living his best life, just doing his thing, pretending to be a knight, even though I guess he kind of is. But yeah.
The very next thing that popped off is that flashback, and you get into Guinevere and Arthur during the middle of the Grail, and this was another just really well done flashback chapter where you got to learn a little bit about the Queen and Arthur, and they kind of redeem Lancelot, hey, this never happened, just based off stuff of the stuff that went on in the chapter and Arthur and Guinevere's love for each other. And I just kind of buy into it that it was a setup.
Yeah. This chapter,
of course you would say that,
wasn't one of my favorites.
Why would I say that?
I said, of course she would say that.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Well, yeah, you know what? You got me. You're right.
I like that you thought I was attacking you. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just saying, devil's advocate, you know?
Okay, I see you, dude. I see you. I mean, yeah, she ain't gonna come out and be like, Arthur, man, I slept with your best night. What's up?
Yeah. I like this flashback, but I also don't like it. I really enjoyed the parts where you get to know King Arthur better. I just don't care for Guinevere at all. Like, I just don't like her. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, bro. That's why we're questioning everything she says, bro.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, I liked how Guinevere talked about like the rumors in this chapter, and she's like, you know what? Everybody thinks Lancelot was a third in our marriage, but the truth was God was the third in our marriage. Arthur just saw himself so completely and devoted to God that everything else was a backseat. And this chapter was Arthur struggling with his faith, and it was just a good. I get where you're coming from because it was heavily focused on Guinevere, and you hate her for whatever reason. She's innocent, but. It was a solid chapter. Also, that chapter talked about the importance of father plays in their kid's life in regards to Arthur's upbringing. And it was just, dude. Yeah. Maybe that hit different as a parent. I don't know, but I liked all that.
Yeah. What do you think? What did you think about Mordred? You got a lot more about Mordred too in that chapter.
I guess it's his kid. So, I mean, that's what he's going to do. Like, you know.
Yeah. I thought it was, what else? He had all the knights written out, and he had Mordred write out all that stuff. I thought that was really interesting too.
Oh, the wall with the plaques of all the knights that died in the Grail quest.
Yeah, and everything that they were doing. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question. This is like going into the personal. I think all of us can answer this, but do you have a search for the Grail moment with your friends? Because I have one, and it includes my friend Daddy Bojangles.
Oh, dude, here we go.
There was a time when we set out on a quest that we were going to play City of Villains.
Yes.
And on this quest, Sir Bojangles and Sir Longbeard traversed every Circuit City, Best Buy, Comp USA, and everywhere else we could think of, not only to find the disc to download the game, but also to find me a graphics card that would fit into my computer that neither one of us really had any business installing into a computer because we didn't really know what we were doing
at all.
This quest took us like 6 hours of driving around Louisville, but we did complete it after some time, and we both played City of Villains.
And the highlight of the quest was after it was all said and done, we had everything we needed. We needed sustenance, so we stopped at a Chinese buffet, and I watched my man put down more lo mein than I've ever seen a human capable of throwing down.
Here's the deal, bro. When I went to the buffet back in the day, I made sure that I got every penny's worth out of that buffet, bro.
Both of our pennies worth on that low.
It's good stuff, bro. If those, I like the noodles that were white, bro. I like those. They're good.
I respect it. It's a good Grail quest. I used to be a video game collector, and I would drive around to all these GameStops looking for rare video games. Specifically, I'm gonna probably mispronounce the name, but I always called it Suikoden. Suikoden 2 was the big one. And there was a GameStop about an hour away that had it in stock. And I called, and the manager's like, yeah, I got it. And on my way there, I blew a tire on the interstate. And I never got Suikoden 2 because I was stranded on the side of the road.
I don't, I don't have a one as grand as that took that much time, but I got a few recently. My friends and I, we were looking for a board game, Frosthaven. It's the second one I told you guys about. We went around to a couple places to try to figure out who had it for the cheapest because it's like a $200 board game. Yeah, it's like a $200 board game. We ended up getting to this one like card and collect shop. We got there. I was holding the box. It was a massive box. I was holding it. Some dude walked up to us. He said that he put money in on the Kickstarter, and he sold us the like elite bundle for like $130. So it was like $100 off, and we got all this extra stuff. So I think that was pretty interesting.
That's the Holy Grail right there, bro.
Yeah,
it is, dude.
Holy Grail board games.
Holy Grail board games.
Dylan, do you have a listen moment? I searched across the world for a collector's edition of Call of Duty Black Ops 1, 2?
Or a Yo beanie.
Or Advanced Warfare. Or a Beanie Baby.
Ooh.
I mean, I feel like my quest moment. What did you say?
Do you collect Beanie Babies?
No.
Oh, that was just random. Okay, Keaton. Wow. I thought I learned something new about Dylan. When you said Beanie Babies, I was like, hold up, bro.
No. I'm not a Beanie Baby collector. Just calm down. I would say my quest to get the McDonald's cup was like even my bros over at Last Coat Podcast tried to get me one, and they weren't unable to find one because they were sold
gone.
out. So I would say that was.
So you're still searching for you're still searching for this grail right here?
Yeah.
I think they're all gone, bro. I don't think you can get them anymore.
Listen, dude, if my little plastic cup isn't worth like $100, you can have mine.
I think my mom
quest completed, bro.
I think my mom got the Trolls one.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. I like that grail question. That's good stuff, man. We largely ended this book this week's segment or chapters, however we're going through discussion. We had like our party get attacked by Saxons. This is where like I was jarred a little bit because we have flashback, present day, flashback, and then next thing you know, we're back to the present time and there's just a fight breaking out while they were asleep. And I was like, what is happening right now? And that's where I kind of got like jostled a little bit from the back and forth of the narrative. But we eventually ran into Merlin under the hill, and that was dope.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. Merlin under the hill is crazy because they all thought like this was God bringing them to Merlin, or Merlin Merlin had some information for them. And he was like, I didn't bring you here. What do you want? Let me out of here. Yeah. So, and I really liked they were trying to get information out of him. And so some of the other knights were appealing to him. They're like, oh, well, we should let him out. And he said, well, you guys are the backwater knights. There's no heroes left, is what he said. There's no heroes left. And so after they got like the next part of their quest, they just left him in the hill, and he was pissed.
He was mad. What do you expect? He sets up like there's no actors left in this play. You're all just the stagehands, and they're like, I enjoy being under the earth.
Dude. Yeah, you come popping off with some crazy talk like that, bro. I'm not getting you out of there either.
He gave him the information, and they said they were going to let him out, and he gave him the information. Then they started walking away. He's like, "What are you doing?"
I'm going to give a hot take here, dude. I think Morgan Le Fay is going to release that dude. I think Morgan Le Fay is going to release Merlin. Something's going to pop off. But that's my hot take. On the back. I have no idea where the story's going. Let's just go and get that out of the way. I could not predict one iota what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the hot take.
I enjoy how in a lot of the newer stuff, or not newer stuff, the older stuff that talks about the legend of King Arthur, it always paints Merlin as a okay guy, and this completely opposite. He's dude. He's a bad dude.
Well, he's like they always like kind of portray him as selfish. Like, hey, Merlin's really only out for himself, and pretty much everything that I've ever thought of Merlin is like, hey, Merlin's like the wizard that's like the right hand man of Arthur. He's kind of the bro, and in this they're like. Merlin only cares about Merlin and his own power. I mean, he's not worried about anybody else other than that.
Yeah. Right. Which we kind of saw in the last chapter we're covering this week, like another flashback, and it was Namu's story. And this is one I really felt was largely throw.
Before we get there, I want to add in, after they had left Merlin, they were riding away, or maybe it was after they left Merlin under the ground. They were right away, and Bedivere and Nimue rode up beside Column, and they were like, we think you could be Arthur's like long lost son.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good So,
and that's always been like a thought in the back of my mind. Like, how is he connected to the story other than he just got lucky?
We know he's something because of that. When he was in the other world, he had like the fairy wings and the crown when he looked in the mirror.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's definitely descended from someone. Is it Arthur? I don't know. I feel like that's the easy answer.
And I think what you bringing that up is good. I feel like when that was revealed, it like Robert, like you said, it felt obvious. I was like, man, I didn't even think about this really. But then now that it's here, it's like, oh, okay, like this does make sense that this would be true. But I don't. If this makes sense, I don't want that to be the truth.
Yeah, me too.
Like I want it to be something different. I don't want him to be King Arthur's long lost bastard son. I just don't.
And Colum doesn't even want that either. He was like, I don't even look like him.
Yeah.
Like they were all saying, well, you're good with the sword. You can do all these other stuff. And he was like, I don't even look like the dude. I don't want to be. I'm the bastard son of a fisherman. Or the son of a fisherman. Yeah.
I hope that's not the case. But, after they said, I was like, I mean, I guess that makes sense for that to be true. Based on where the story's kind of going. So
then we had our last chapter. It's a flashback. And like I was saying, like, dude, it's Namu's backstory. And I felt like it was largely like, okay, I guess unless we're just putting this in here to paint Merlin into like Captain Creep, which he was, like he saved Namu and then he like turned into Captain Creep on her. And like he even old school roofied her. He made some type of yellow powder and threw it in her face.
Yeah, like a million-year-old plant that he's hard to find.
Yeah, and it's like, man, I felt so bad for Namu that when this chapter was over, I was like, that's right, dude. Keep him in the earth. Let that man.
Yeah.
It was a cool fight scene between those two.
Yeah, this is probably tied, at least the second half of this backstory. This was a long chapter.
It was a long chapter.
So.
I felt like that this chapter, if I'm going to liken it to anime, would have been a filler episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I thought it was a good battle. We got to see what goes down. We already kind of knew Merlin was trash a little bit, and this just kind of fleshed it out a little bit. I felt like it wasn't needed overall.
Yeah, one of my favorite things came out of this though, with Merlin's lisp. Dude. So, but another big thing I got from this was that when Merlin was explaining, he doesn't really care for Arthur. He doesn't really care for anybody. Like you said, he cares for himself and power, and he cares. He liked to talk about a lot how he cared for Britain. So that was his main goal.
Yeah.
So
putting the need of the country over the need of the people. It's Merlin.
And I like right there at the end, he thinks that he's gonna trap Nimue, however you say it, in the ground by hitting her with a meteor, but he gets hit instead, and he basically traps himself in the ground.
Yeah. Which is cool, though, because Namu kind of used that whole thing going down in her favor to be like, yo, I trapped Merlin. What up?
Yeah.
When really, it was circumstance. She got helped out by like one of the
Old
gods.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was fine.
Yeah. A lot of backstory. I really enjoyed it though. So it was good.
So now that we've kind of done that, I want to add a new question to the end of our book discussions as we get ready to start kind of closing this out. Do you guys have any quotes that stood out to you this week? I'll start actually. Mine was the worst disasters come dressed as miracles. I thought was a cool quote. And it's just kind of an outlook on life kind of thing. But I thought that was a cool quote.
Yeah, I think I dig that quote, dude. I highlight tons of stuff when I'm reading books on the Kindle app. And one that I highlighted was Guinevere and Arthur having a conversation. And it kind of pointed back to what made me go, okay, I kind of believe Lancelot didn't do this. It was she loved him more than he loved himself. And was that not the point of marriage, to love a person more than they can love themselves? I love that quote. I love that chapter. And it kind of flipped my whole perspective on Lancelot and Guinevere completely.
Yeah, of course you'd say that.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just joking. That's good. That's good.
I was talking
about be a hater.
Justin a little bit before this, but this one had a lot of like, especially with Dagonet's backstory, it had a lot of like pretty good stuff because of how he sees the world. But my favorite, probably just like I said, comes from Merlin when he had the lisp. He says, "I got it right here." He says, "I'm gonna try my best to do a lisp."
Oh no!
No one strikes me and lived. No one strikes me and lived.
Oh man!
And he's saying no one strikes me and lives because
we got it.
Yeah,
because she smacks him and sends him flying.
Nice.
That's after he tried to roofie her. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah.
What
but that's my favorite. That was my favorite part so far.
All right, boys. Let's get with these last 3 words. What do you guys got? What do you got for us, Robert?
Guinevere loves Arthur.
What do you got, Kiwi?
Merlin's a creep.
Lancelot is alive.
Yeah.
Dylan, what do you got?
We have to accept it.
I didn't read.
Oh,
man. That's becoming a very common last 3 word for you right now. Well, guys, what an awesome book discussion. Hope you guys are enjoying this. And we want to encourage you to continue to kind of engage with us in our Discord on those discussions. Again, we've asked some of these questions and we've gotten some responses, and we appreciate you guys taking part in that. So without further ado, though, it is time for our boy, sweet baby Dylan, to shine as we're getting ready to go into some nerdy. The dance. I mean, okay.
He's preparing for our TikTok channel.
You know what? We need this. We need this kind of energy in our TikTok channel.
All the vibes.
100%.
I need insert some like epic dance music.
You know,
right here to intro, Justin.
You know, if I can. All right.
What? I'm sorry, everyone.
It's time for nerdy news. That's what just happened, Robert. So every time you tune in to an episode of the Nerdy Reads podcast, you can expect some of the latest and greatest news from across the nerdverse. And every week, we like to kick it off with a sighting of the week. And gentlemen, do you mind if I present to you a new segment presented by Optic Blast Broadcast?
Mm-hmm.
Please do.
Yeah.
This segment is called Robert Recommends, Justin Edition. So
nice.
Our sighting this week is something that whenever I saw it,
engaged.
I did not know what to do. Okay, I didn't know how to act. I didn't know how to react. If you're watching this on YouTube, my computer's freaking out, so it's taking me a minute. But if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm pulling it up right here, right now, and
there we go.
Just go ahead and read the serial porch pooper.
Yes,
strikes again.
Wow.
Global homes.
I heard this.
Yes.
So,
dude, look at that. That's
apparently there is a serial.
Lad.
Yeah, I don't know if we can watch this video, but I'm gonna play it anyway.
It's censored.
It's blacked out.
If it'll load.
That is a very crisp picture. They gotta find this dude soon.
That's at least 600p.
That's probably the best sighting photo we've had on here before.
Oh no! I clicked on
this has gone all the way back.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to skip this ad, and it's not letting me skip. My computer's freaking out. Here it is.
There it is.
On one Louisville homeowner's porch over the past week, paid that homeowner another visit this weekend. In fact, the homeowner tells me the now infamous porch pooper.
He's rubbing his stomach. We've all been there
2 times over the Labor Day weekend. The homeowner tells us the first visit happened on the morning of September 1st. The man came over in the middle of the night, pooped, and then left. The homeowner put up sonic alarms and cat litter the next day. Well, it seemed to deter him when he returned last night because the homeowner tells me he ran away. If you recognize this man, you're asked to contact police at 574-LMPD.
So
he doesn't mess around either. He goes right to business. He drops him and goes right to business.
Dude, not only did he drop him to business, my man goes and looks in the window of the door to make sure no one's in that living room before he.
What, dude? Sometimes you need privacy.
So he's doing it to the same house multiple times. He's got a vendetta against his person.
He does, dude. That was a former boss that dude doesn't even know who that guy is, but he was like a number in his corporation. He X'd him out of there or something. I don't know what it is, bro, but there's something.
When I first read that story, I thought that dude was just going to rando houses, which would be so maybe he's going to go and poop on somebody else's porch and we'll get another Ring doorbell Chris video. That's hilarious. Yeah. Hey, if you're the porch pooper and you listen to this show, bro, we invite you to come and be a guest.
Yes.
We need to know why.
Until he's caught, he will probably strike again. So I will be on the lookout.
Please, we need the Louisville pooper updates, man.
I like that the Louisville pooper makes national news. This is what we get.
I want to see Dylan in a Ring doorbell camera with him.
And bro, the homeowner and his interview with Wave is like blacked out, like it's just his voice, like the I want to be anonymous. Like, what'd you do, the porch pooper, bro?
I think he was anonymous just so nobody else comes and poops on his porch.
Louisville, known for bourbon and porch poopers.
That's
there
right.
You go.
Wow.
And horse racing.
And Nerdery's podcast.
That's right.
Hey, put us in that list, you know?
I'm fine with being right below porch pooping.
Yeah, dude. Next.
All right. Well, so our first piece of news here is something that I'm not super excited about, I'll be honest. So I feel like Jack Black at this point is making his rounds on completing side quests. He is becoming Snoop Dogg by the day. He is in every single project that is releasing that needs a big name. They just slap Jack Black in it and expect it to blow up. Shout out Borderlands. And that never usually happens. And I think it's happening once again here with this. But hey, it might turn out good. The Mario movie turned out great.
Yes.
But what we got coming up right now here soon, and I'm going to play the trailer so we can watch it. And it is the first reveal of the live action Minecraft movie.
Oh, dude.
I'm excited for this.
Have you seen it?
I haven't watched it.
Oh, it looks so bad.
I haven't watched this.
So
I haven't
bad.
watched it yet either.
It looks so bad.
So this will be a live
Hopefully
reaction.
It doesn't play another ad, but here we go, boys. If it'll load. Sorry, my computer is being really slow right now.
Here we go.
Yeah, that looks like the game I see my kids playing all the time. Is that Jason Momoa?
It is.
Yep.
It is. 100% is.
Anything you can dream about here, you can make.
Who are you?
I am Steve.
Yes! Jack Black's so good, dude.
Okay.
Oh, this guy is such a tool bag.
Oh, man. This looks like a dumpster fire.
I told you it wasn't good.
I'm not in the Minecraft community. What's the Minecraft community feel about this trailer? Because Jack Black can do no wrong. That instantly made this better than Borderlands.
Yeah, but we haven't watched Borderlands yet. And he's claptrapping that. I mean, did he do wrong?
I love Jack Black as much as the next person, but
Sure.
between Borderlands, Mandalorian Season 3, and now Minecraft, He's just completing side quests.
I like
it's
him
not
when
going
he's
too well.
like him. Like it seems like if he's gonna be himself like that, then it might be okay.
100%. But I don't think he will be.
You know what? Nerdy Reads.
Nerdy Reads podcast going to see mine. We didn't go see Borderlands for good reason, but we'll go see this.
What about the Joker?
We can go through that for sure.
Is that part of
down to
news?
go see Joker.
Is that part of news, Dylan?
I was considering it, but there's a few other things that I felt like I wanted to talk about. But since you brought it up, might as well. Joker reviews are in, and IGN is coming in with its terrible hot takes and giving it a 5 out of 10. And I can already tell you that's just wrong. It's just not correct.
I have a hard time believing that's
I
right.
do too. Every trailer I've seen of that movie looks good.
I mean,
if they followed the same formula for the first one, I think they're going to do just fine.
Well, they said it's a musical this time, right?
Well, it's like a courtroom procedural is what I heard.
So yeah. That's what the IGN review was saying, that like it takes place a lot in the courtroom. So I'm assuming at this point, Arthur, whatever you want to call him, has been arrested after the end of the first movie, and so they're probably going through some sort of court thing, and he's obviously in prison where he meets Harley, aka Lady Gaga, and their story continues on from there. But I don't know. I still don't think there's no way. There's no way.
This on Rotten Tomatoes right now it's sitting at a 60% with 43 critic reviews.
No audience score yet?
Nah, no audience.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Well, it comes out on October 4th, so it'll be
really
a while.
Yeah.
We actually got some time. They maybe do some reworks.
Nah, if they're already showing it to the critics, it's done.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I'm definitely gonna go see it, and I highly doubt there's no way.
Dude, if you think about it, you like the first Joker, right? The first Joker had a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, audience score of 89%. The critics don't always get this stuff right, bro.
That's so true. Like, I mean, what they look for versus what we are entertained by is so different sometimes. You know, so
yeah.
Then
I'm still watching.
The critics never get it right.
In other news, this is something that I think you guys, especially Robert and Justin, will be pretty excited about. Well, maybe. I don't know. You guys, with your history with GameStop, I thought you guys might find this super interesting. So GameStop is actually making select locations into retro stores called GameStop Retro, where it's going to be selling strictly classic and retro game consoles and video games, going all the way back to like the OG Nintendo.
I like this. I think this is cool. I like those disc replay type stores that are popping up around. That usually is like a locally owned type of deal where people sell those retro games. I think it's really fun to go and look at, and it's becoming a hot thing. I mean, people are collecting vintage stuff in gaming. With as advanced as gaming is getting, some people are going back to the 8-bit eras and 16-bit eras and finding enjoyment in that. And so I think stuff like this is cool, man. I'd like to see this kind of stuff, because even though like we hate on GameStop, I don't want gaming stores to like die.
Same.
Because I still really enjoy like going to a GameStop with my son and just being in a place that's just surrounded by video game stuff and nerdy stuff. Like I don't want that stuff to just go away. So I hope something like this does well. I think it's cool.
Personally. They just got to bring back the midnight releases, and everything will be fixed.
Heck yeah, dude.
I think it's cool. I do worry about, the pricing, but again, I'm not the guy going out there who's going to buy this stuff. I'm happy just to go in and look at it and, have a little nostalgia bomb and move on with my day. But I do like that there's destination spots like this. It kind of makes me think of like when Toys R Us went under. There's no like destination toy store for me to take my kids when they were younger. Like,
yeah.
The cool part about Toys R Us was like you took your kids to Toys R Us, that was for them. No parent went to Toys R Us because they needed something else. Well, now if you're in Target, it's like, oh, we're here, I'll take you to the toy aisle. It doesn't feel special. So I think stuff like this is good to have around for kids, especially.
Well, like it says like 360 on there. I mean, it's got a wide range of, the Vita, the PS3. Dreamcast has always been a thing where I was like, man, I'd love to collect all the Dreamcast stuff because it wouldn't take you that long. So, but Dreamcast was a cool console, ahead of its time.
I knew it, dude. You're a big fan of that Seaman game. I see you.
Toasty.
Next.
Well, personally, to me, I was just gonna.
I'm just joking. Go on, Dylan. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I think it's cool that GameStop is finally. I think it's been something they've needed to do for a while now. Which I know they already started doing their online retro stuff, but they really kind of needed to rework a lot of their business because the video game industry is just changing so rapidly, and I feel like GameStop just hasn't done anything big to really innovate like their market and the people that they're trying to sell to. And I feel like anytime you do walk into a GameStop now, it's almost like it's vacant. It's like a apocalypse just happened and there's maybe one person in there, and it's kind of sad. And I just kind of hope that this helps to kind of revamp, like you said, like game stores, because I don't want them to go away either. I still, as much as I feel like I've started to conform to more of the online, like buying, especially with Game Pass. But I still like having the physical copies of stuff and being able to go in the game store and just kind of chill and find some cool games. But
I feel like they've been prepping for this for a while, because if I remember correctly, it seems like it was maybe a year or a little over a year ago they started taking trade-ins on some of these vintage titles.
Yeah.
And so they've probably been stocking up to get prepared for the retro GameStop launch. But and I'm sure, and we all probably know this, they probably have like thousands of 360 or millions of 360 games stocked up in storage that they're just like, okay, how do we get rid of all this? How do we get rid of all these Madden games, Madden 2002s and 3s? Let's just have a vintage GameStop store. But yeah, it makes sense. I like it.
I know they've even started buying like graded like Pokemon cards or in different cards like that.
Yeah. I feel like GameStop, we're going to see them changing.
They need to bring back midnight releases and deluxe editions that actually have good stuff.
Yeah. Well, anymore. We could talk about gaming all day. Sorry.
Yeah. We better go ahead and move on. I was about to jump in this conversation. I was like, I was
about to say,
yeah, we're good. So, well, that pretty much does it for nerdy news this week. So, Robert, you know what time it is.
Man, it's time for What's Hot. We here at the Nerdy Reads podcast can't read everything. That's why every week I bring you something popular in the book world. And as we are jumping into spooky season, you can bet this section is going to be filled with spooky seasons for weeks to come. This week it is Such Lovely Skin by Tatiana Schlotbahn. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. If you're a listener of the show, I hope you are. An evil video game, a lying Twitch streamer, a demon hungry for her secrets. After spending the summer racked with guilt about causing the accident that killed her little sister, ambitious gamer and chronic liar Viv returns to Twitch streaming. She never told her parents the truth about the accident, but she hopes that by making it big in the streaming industry and then giving them money will be penance enough for her mistakes. However, the weekend before school starts, Viv finds the perfect horror game to make her Twitch comeback, and during an offline practice run, an NPC asks her to tell a secret. She tells the NPC the truth about her sister's death, since the game can never share her secret, but in doing so, she accidentally welcomes a demonic mimic into her life. This one's sent at 4.68 out of 5 on Goodreads, with early reviews praising it. It comes out on September 17th, and it just got added to my personal TBR for this fall.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this sounds really interesting.
That's like right up our alley.
Yeah.
We got too many books right up our alley coming around spooky season.
I know, man.
I like the way that one sounds.
The cover like on that book was nightmare fuel.
Bro, that's nerdy. That's like nerdy reads if I've ever heard it. You got a little bit of horror and it's video game related. Come on, bro.
I know we need to cover it on the show, dude, for sure.
We do.
And coming up next week on the Nerdy Reads podcast, we're going to jump back into the Bright Sword Part 5. There's only 2 parts left, guys. That's it. We're almost done with our coverage. This week, we're going to read to chapter 34. So you're going to stop at 34. So that's going to put us chapters 29 through 33. I hope you read along with us. Put the comments in the Discord. What up?
Yep. All right, guys, that brings us to mailbag. And so this is kind of a new segment. We ask every week for you guys to give us some things that you want answers to or you want us to talk about here on the show. Before we get into today's mailbag question, we just wanted to give a shout out to somebody who's in our Discord, who's always really, really active, but it's Atalanta Ash, who did the thing. She went through our Goodreads for us, and she literally posted by date to get the years on average of how many books, like what books we've read and what years are newer. Do we lean more towards new, old? Do we have a nice healthy balance? But it was really cool, man. And she even put on here how many books from what years. 2023 clearly was a big year, bro. It was a big year for Nerdy Reads podcast. We read 21 books from 2023.
Love you, 23.
Hey, 2023, baby. 2023. But Atalanta Ash, we just appreciate you doing that. That's really, really cool. It's really cool to see listeners just kind of engaging with all the things that we're doing. So thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. So this week's question here is by none other than Crisp P. Bacon. He wanted to know top 3 authors. Top 3 authors. This is Keaton.
Hey, man.
You okay over there, Keaton? Was that like stressed you out?
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard. And I think it goes. So I'm going to answer this first so that give you guys some time to think about it. But this kind of goes with a lot of things for me, like shows or even music sometimes. Like this fluctuates, I feel like. But there is one I'm going to give to the top zone here that never changes, and that's Tolkien. Yeah. Tolkien number 1.
Who would have guessed it?
Yeah, that's my dude right there. But I would definitely go there. You know, and I'm not going to give these in any order. But dude, I'm going to go with my boy Travis Baldree as like a kind of a newer author.
Good
shout. The two books that he had, and it's not a huge sample size, but the 2 that he has wrote have been books that have like just kicked me right in the feels, bro. I'm a huge fan of Travis Baldree. You know, I want to give it to my boy Jeff Wheeler, bro. I'm just gonna give it to him. Hey, you know, 2 guys that we interviewed on the show.
Plug.
Hey, if you want to go back and check out those episodes. But in all reality, though, Jeff Wheeler, I think he encompasses a lot of what the show's about. And even like the way that his stories unfold and write. I mean, dude, he has that nice fantasy worlds. I like what he does. You know, there's obviously a lot of authors out there that we love. Like, I mean, Stephen King is obviously amazing. Neil Gaiman's amazing. There's a lot of really, really amazing authors out there. But those 3, I like all those guys. So I'm going to go with that. Robert?
Yeah, my 3 are not interchangeable. It is locked in, locked, loaded. I don't think it'll ever change. And it's largely because of influential things at certain periods in my life. So number 1, we got R.L. Stine. Introduced me to reading on a grand stage with Goosebumps. Really, sure. I just got into books because of him. So R.L. Stine, number 1. Number 2, I'm going to throw it up to Margaret Wilson, Tracy Hickman. They're a package combo. Dragon.
Nah, dude, that's 3 right there. All right, moving on. I'm just
that's a package deal. They write it together. They co-author.
It's true.
And number 3, I'm going to give it to my boy Stephen King, because I can always read a Stephen King book and be entertained. I know what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a great story with, you know, maybe a mixed ending, but I love them. I love how they all interconnect. I love all of it. Stephen King's great. Special shout out to David Coomer, one of my new favorite indie authors out there. I love The Misery House. I'm actually going to read The Silent Forest here in a couple weeks. Love it. My man says Stephen King has ghostwriters. I like the hot take. David Coomer, check him out, guys. Misery House, great read.
Here's the thing about Stephen King. One of my favorite authors as well. He probably fits in that top 3 probably before any of the others, some of the others outside Tolkien. But here's the thing. I cannot read a Stephen King book at any time. I can read a Stephen King book, but after I read one, I need a break.
Gotcha.
Because there's so much, like, there have been times I've read his book and I like, oh, dude, Holly's a great example of this.
Yeah.
after Holly, I needed a few weeks before I went into anything else that was dark and crazy, because Stephen King writes stuff sometimes that is so disturbing, and that's just part of how talented he is at that stuff. But those villains in that book itself was so creepy.
Can't even help anybody these days.
Right. Was so terrifying that after I was done, I was like, I need something happy. Give me a happy book. I need something that makes me feel good now. But yeah, Stephen King, though, you're right, dude. He's top tier.
I'm still thinking about rattlesnakes, so I get you, man.
Rattlesnakes, yeah.
That image of those boys falling down that hill has not left me. So,
Mom was with rattlesnakes when she was getting eaten by the crows.
Oh man,
yeah.
Dude, there was a lot of Hey, dude, if you guys are into you like it darker and short stories, go back and check out those episodes. Keep on playing. Kiwi, what you got for us?
So, mine's it's hard to pin down 3, but I went ahead and decided 3. Sure. I have Rick Riordan. I don't know if that's how you say it, but he's the author of the Percy Jackson and several other stuff. That's really what got me into reading. In middle school, the Percy Jackson series has got me into reading. And it, nurtured my love for reading. Other than that, one that I always like to go back to is Kishimoto, the author of Naruto. So a little bit different manga, but I love his. That's a great story. That's one of my first, really long series that I completed. And then a more recent one that I really enjoy is Pierce Brown with the Red Rising series. So
that's good.
All really good, yeah. All ones with a lot of world building. So that, like I said before, that's really my jam, world building.
Yep. Dylan, actually, let's not skip Dylan. Dylan, you got 3 authors you like,
bro? You ain't even gonna let me answer.
Hey, bro, I didn't read. I just didn't know. I'm sorry.
Oh man!
Just because I didn't read this book doesn't mean I don't read.
I'm just joking.
I have my own show. You know that, right? Well, me and Blake have our own show.
Dang.
Where we read. So let's calm down. Let's calm down. So I would say number 1. Well, not in any particular order. I'd say 1. Timothy Zahn, just because.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Those Star Wars books are dope. Yeah, we need to finish that 3rd one.
Yeah, the Thrawn series. And then 2nd, I would go with Alan Moore. He does comics. He did The Killing Joke, V for Vendetta, and Watchmen. So I think those are all really awesome. And then technically he's not an author, but I would consider him a writer. George Lucas.
I respect it, dude. Timothy Zahn is great. He made me a fan of Star Wars as a novel, where I would be bored trying to read these books before. He did something no other Star Wars author could do, and he made him come alive. So what's up?
That's what's up. All right, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. All right, guys, keep those mailbag questions coming. We really do appreciate it. We have a good time answering those questions. So it's time for us to close this thing up. We had part 4 of The Bright Sword. Enjoyed that. We talked about pumpkin Smoothie King beverages. We talked a lot about video games today, and we shared a little bit about some of our fall selections by the team here that's joined us. And we had just a lot of fun along the way. So there's a lot of things going on. We have a lot of things coming up, and you're going to want to keep up with us. Robert, where can they find us?
You can find us over on Facebook, Instagram, Goodreads, YouTube. Like and subscribe at the Nerdy Reads Podcast. Hey guys, be sure to give us a like, a follow, tell your friend about us. We appreciate all your support.
That's right. That's right. And you guys know we cannot and will not ever end an episode of the Nerdy Reads Podcast without some advice from our very own sweet baby Dylan. What up, bro?
Listen. I just invent and then wait until man comes around to needing what I've invented.
What?
That was just too deep for us to understand.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, bro.
If you know what that means, sound off in the Discord.
Point proven.
Point proven. There it is. Okay, well, Dylan just shot something way over our heads. Toby. Here at the Nerdy Reads podcast, we enjoy a good story. We believe your story matters. So be good to each other and stay nerdy, our friends. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.